you love babies so much and it brings so much joy to you, are you guys gonna have kids? Good morning, guys. I just got a text from Mary. I was working on editing the vlog and she said, I got text saying I'm pretty ill, and so I ran upstairs. She had been doing her best, and I think she had finished and took her pills for the morning. She had started yesterday or 2 days ago. She started on 2 oral antibiotics, and those are hard on the stomach, especially in the morning, and so she took some Zofran, but she doesn't feel good. So I'm gonna make her some toast and hopefully settle her stomach down a little bit. We're hopefully going into Boston today to hang out with our friends, and but we'll see how Mary's feeling after we get going. But welcome to our day, guys.
Good morning, guys. Today I switched up my therapy schedule, and I did 30 minutes of vest this morning, my nebulizers, and then a few hours later I did another 30 minutes. I just finished my second 30 minutes, and we are about to drive to Courtney's house, and I'm going to hang out with her. Peter's gonna go into the city. He's gonna drop off a sputum sample, which is just when I'm coughing, I just can spit it into a hospital cup, and then they send it to the lab and figure out what bacteria my lungs are growing. So that can direct, well, it gives us information. Unfortunately, the information it gives us is that my bacteria are resistant, but it's still good to know if anything has changed in my lungs. So he's gonna drive into the city, drop that off, and then stay in the city and study, and then he'll come get me again. So I'm gonna have a really fun day. I'm still hooked up to my feeding tube again to just try to stabilize, I don't know, just keep nutrients going, stabilize my blood sugar. It hasn't proven to be helpful so far, but I figure it's not hurting, so it's worth a try. It's also just, I know my body's fighting harder right now, so right now I'm just gonna give it some extra nutrients and hope that that can help fuel the fight. I got super duper nauseous from my antibiotics this morning. I took them with Zofran and I still got nauseous, so that's kind of a bummer, but it is what it is. I'm feeling better now. I took a bath because I was just like, oh, like I just didn't feel good, so I had to like snap out of it somehow. But yeah, so we're getting ready to load up in the car and head out. I noticed, I think my face burst a blood vessel when I was coughing right here. I don't even know if I can see that without my glasses on. Right there, I like looked in the mirror earlier and I was like, what in the world? But that can happen when you're like having a hard coughing fit. I've gotten little, I think they're called petechiae maybe? Is that what it is? When the little blood vessels, it happened in my arm from the blood pressure cuff after surgery. Oh, what, the leaves?
Trees are changing, everybody.
Oh, I'm sorry, the glare. I don't know if you can see it. Oh yeah, that is gorgeous. But yeah, from throwing up, that can happen just from the pressure of throwing up. I used to get little blood vessels popped in my chin, or around my mouth or something, or around my eyes, and I think that's what that is. I have been coughing. I mean, I don't know, I just noticed my cough was like pretty hard yesterday.
Yeah.
So, I think that that's what that is. But we're on our way. And we are noticing the leaves, like one branch out of the tree, like one branch will be turned orange. If you don't know, in New England, we're kind of known for our leaves. We are known for our leaves.
Yeah, it's, we're coming up, like, the next few weeks are gonna be pretty epic, so I'm gonna try to get a lot of drone footage and capture these changes. It's just like, I mean, it's a matter of weeks. It goes from vibrant green to like vibrant colors to nothing.
then we'll get our fireplace out and we'll decorate, and it'll be warm and cozy in the house, even though it'll be completely bare outside.
Yeah.
Make the most of it.
Okay, I dropped off Mary to hang out with Courtney and Sydney, and now I am on Operation Mucus drop-off. I just came to Mary's hospital, and I'm gonna run to the pulmonary clinic to drop off the mucus. And I'll probably, I'm not sure if I'm gonna find somewhere to study around here or back toward Courtney's place, but I'm gonna get some work done and then we'll meet up with Mary a little later. Hey guys, I just came to Clover and I am having a little chickpea fritter sandwich and working on my sermon. Just gonna stay here for a little while and check in with Mary in a little bit. I'm on my way back to go pick Mary up, and it just started raining like torrentially, but it's crazy. The sky is like I guess you can't really see it in the camera, but it's just like a bright, like bluish yellow sky.
What? We had such a good time. I got to hold a baby. Here are a couple pictures from my time with Sydney. And now we are back on the road. Back on the road home. And when we left, like, it wasn't raining.
Oh yeah.
And then, boom, it was raining really hard for like 28 seconds. And then it went away again.
It was the weirdest thing. Like, I was putting Ollie in the car, and all of a sudden it's just like, I'm getting wet. Okay, shut the door. Get in the car. And then once I got in the car, it stopped.
Yeah.
It's the weirdest thing.
Here's a random fact about Peter and I. These tooth picker flossers, we use them in the car.
Yeah, we keep them in this little center console thing, and they're actually quite useful. They give you something to do while you're driving. Yeah,
and then you know you flossed your teeth. So there you go. That's our Frey Life tip for the day. Hello. Oh yes, that is a good video clip right there. Anyway, this is funny. I was showing my feeding tube turtle, my stuffed animal that I jammed a feeding tube into. I was showing my feeding tube to somebody, and when I pulled it out, I didn't deflate the balloon because I didn't have a syringe on me. And the balloon is significantly smaller, which means that it's leaking, which means that it's a good thing I changed my feeding tube when I did, because it's, I mean, those feeding tube buttons can last, I don't know, a year or more. My surgeon recommended that it's changed every 3 months or more. He didn't really care. He said everybody kind of has a different preference. So I changed mine at 3 months, and turns out that's probably a good thing if that balloon was starting to leak. The risk is if the balloon leaks, the balloon gets smaller, which means the feeding tube could pop out easier. Not ideal. So that's, you know, one of the things I do each week is I pull the water out of the balloon and make sure that it's still holding the amount of water it's supposed to be holding. So, speaking of that, I actually need to do that. Here's my syringe. So, I'm going to check my feeding tube, and I am going to eat a little bit of cereal and do my evening vest. Before I forget, today I did not feel my blood sugar drop. And I don't think it did drop, so maybe my feeding tube is helping. I don't know. Or maybe today was just a good day, or maybe the last week was just a fluke week, and I don't know. But anyway, I'm thankful for that.
Well, that was a productive day. I worked on my sermon, and Mary held a baby, so...
What more could you ask for? You held a baby for a second.
I did. It was very fun. I got to steal the sleeping baby from Mary when I came to pick Mary up, and it's fun. If you're new around here, you're probably wondering, if you love babies so much and it brings so much joy to you, are you guys gonna have kids?
Reasonable question.
And it's been a reasonable question that we have journeyed throughout the years, and in fact, I'd say it's probably like 2 years ago we made a video about that very question. It's called Q&A, Are We Having Kids? And we sat down, and it's a Q&A with a bunch of questions, but one of the questions we answered was that one, and shared a little bit of our journey of... Mary and I both absolutely love kids, and we kind of share our journey with dealing with how that relates to Mary having cystic fibrosis and how we view our family and all of that. So if you're interested, I'll leave a link down in the description.
I guess even like since we made that video, like we've continued to talk about it, and just like the two of us, we talk about it and continue to feel at peace with the decision that we've made.
And that decision is that we won't be having kids. Part of that decision involves we want to love on and support our friends and our family who have little ones. But I think that being said, here we are like 2 years since that video. I mean, that video wasn't like us just making that decision. It was more like sharing our journey of that decision.
Just cliff note, we've been married for almost 7 years, so it's something that we've talked about for quite some time.
As we shared in that video, it wasn't originally our plan that kids wouldn't be in our plans for as a family. And I guess what I was gonna say is, here we are like a couple years since then. You're probably wondering, have your thoughts changed? Like, do you have any other thoughts? And I will say, like, we're in a season of life where our friends are having kids, and we're watching them raise families, and I'd say in some ways, like, that is a hard thing. It doesn't get easier, but there is that peace that Mary and I both have about that decision.
Yeah, it's sort of like, just like anything in life, whether you're grieving the loss of somebody or an aspect of your life, like if you have a chronic illness now and you're grieving the loss of that normalcy that you used to have, whatever it is, like you go through waves of sadness or just processing in your mind. So of course we go through those waves of processing, but like Peter was saying, we do have this underlying peace, and we're grateful for that because, you know, like Peter mentioned, when we first got married, we thought that we would be having children. Or I think probably before we got married, when my health was more stable, like we really thought, like, of course we'll have kids, of course, you know,
yeah,
through adoption most likely or whatever.
Yeah.
But now here we are, 7 years. So we've been together for 12 years, but we've been married for 7 years. And it's been a journey.
It's a journey that continues. Mary really loves babies, and yet this underlying reality where we feel like that doesn't fit into our family as we think through the implications of Mary's health and
the implications of my health would have on the child,
yeah,
potentially. And that's a whole nother conversation. And the reality is that there are some families with cystic fibrosis, like one of the parents or both or whoever, whatever, has cystic fibrosis, and they do have children. And for some families, that's what works. But it's different for everybody, and that is okay. And we are okay with the fact that at this point in time, it appears that our family won't be having children.
Yeah.
Our family meaning us. As the years go on, it also becomes a little more clear as far as my health goes why that decision we made so many years ago is making more and more sense. And so we soak up the time that we do have with our nieces or nephews or friends' babies, and we will enjoy giving them a break, and we'll soak it up. And then we'll come home to the reality that I have hours of therapy to do, or whatever, you know. It's part of the journey, and we're okay with that.
Yeah.
So, anyway, those are our thoughts. If you'd like to watch our thoughts 2 years ago on this topic, again, you can click in the iCards or down in the description.
So we're gonna get to bed, so
thank you guys for coming along, and
as always,
we will see you tomorrow. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night.
Good night. Good night. You gotta end with Ollie Boy, you know? Good night, Ollie Boy. Oh, look at him. You're just so